What's up, guys? It's Sam and Taylor.
And we want you to put your shoes on,
Pop open that energy drink,
and go.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. I am Sam.
And I'm Taylor. Glad to have you back on this lovely Friday. This catch-up's going to be slightly different because it's just news.
Yeah, a lot of good news.
Yeah.
But before we even get into that, if you guys are here listening for Katie Austin, hi, I'm Sam, like I said, and that's Taylor. We live together, and we're in our little apartment. So that kind of gives a little bit of background on our big news.
Yes, we are moving.
Yes.
We are moving into a 4-bedroom house out of our little 2-bedroom little apartment. We have big space. So the recording setup is just going to get even better.
Yeah.
Because it's going to have its own studio, office. It's going to be so good.
I know. And kind of backtracking on this, I know you guys are probably like, what the hell? I thought you guys like totally agreed on the fact that you wanted to live separately, all of that. Let's just say we were working with both different realtors, and it is so expensive in Austin. And just for what we need, we have outgrown this apartment to the max. Like, if you could see right now, there are so many boxes right now because one, we're packed, but also because we have like little things for our like business, like our merch, stickers, just things are constantly coming in, and we're just outgrowing this space. So if we were to both be on our own, we would obviously need a podcast studio on top of that.
Yeah.
So we were like, you know what, let's just save some money and let's live together and get an extra bedroom and just use the bedroom as our podcast studio.
Yeah, we literally would have had to like sacrifice each of our living rooms as like storage, office, recording.
Yeah.
It would have been so hectic, and really spur of the moment, we were like, maybe we can find a 3 or 4 bedroom house. And we did.
Yeah.
And jumped on it.
Within 24 hours, we had that place signed and it was ours.
It was perfect. It was exactly what we needed. We have a garage. We got balconies. We got a guest bedroom. Like, it is everything we needed. Another issue is this apartment doesn't have windows. As you can tell, we're obviously using like a ring light. That's because if we didn't have this ring light on, even though it's a sunny day in Austin, Texas, it's pitch black in here.
Yeah.
It's dark. We don't have any windows. So our overall content's going to get a lot better.
Yeah, especially because I think it's very important for any content creator or anyone honestly just working from home. It is very important that your living situation brings in more of that creative like ability for you. And I just feel like I've been so neglecting that. And I feel like once we move with the natural light and just all the different like rooms and areas we can go, my creative ability is just going to be so much better.
I'm going to love working at like in my office and not at the kitchen counter.
Exactly. Me too. So the entire moving process is going to be quite long. We move in on Friday, which is today when you guys are listening to this, but the entire process of getting it fully furnished is going to take a while. So join the ride with that on YouTube. We'll be vlogging that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be vlogging a ton of it. It's probably gonna be quite a few moving vlogs for the next few weeks, and we'll definitely give you guys updates on everything on the podcast. But that's the big news of our life is that we're finally moving, and there was so much confusion on the internet.
So bad. I can guarantee if we went on Reddit right now, people would be like, Sam and Taylor hate each other, like they're not living together.
There was so much confusion. I'd post, I'm moving, and people are like, why? I'm like, guys, it's just our lease. Our lease is gonna be up. Like, we don't own this place. Like, we're gonna have to go. Like, that's just how apartments work.
I kind of want to.
We're gonna have to dip. So yeah, now that it's all settled and squared away, so we're finally telling you guys, because it'd be really annoying if we were like, we found a house, and we're like, JK.
Yeah, and then in terms of like an actual like tour of the place, please do not ask for that. We're gonna be very private with where we're living because it's obviously now not an apartment, so we're gonna be private. Like you're not getting a luxury. Here's my front entrance. Here's all my doors. Here's all the like. You're gonna get very minimal like details, but you will get like the furniture and where it's from. But
yeah, 100%. It's gonna be a really fun new chapter to live in. A place with just so much space. Like, thinking that where we are right now is just gonna be one level of our house.
Yeah,
so crazy. I'm so like grateful.
And Matt can run free.
It's gonna be It's going to be so awesome, and the content is just going to get so much better now that we have space and windows. So you guys aren't even...
Get ready, though. I'm coming back with those recipes. I've literally, on a daily basis, get so many swipe ups, like, where are the recipes? Where'd the recipes go? They'll come back, I swear.
Even for me, like, talking, like, I'm really excited to get my TikTok back. I'm really trying, guys, but I want to be, like, talking more on my stories, talking more on TikTok. And to make those videos do well, you need to have good lighting in the videos. It can't be a crappy filmed video.
Yeah.
And that stopped me from talking on my stories so often because it just looks like garbage. Like, it doesn't look nice. Like, it's dark, it's ugly. It doesn't look nice. So it's just really, really exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And then I guess we could just do like a very quick weekend recap because
I know people want
you guys are probably going to want to know. Obviously, I've vlogged the whole weekend on my camera, but let me just say this was the most overwhelming weekend of my entire life. I just wanted to kind of put myself like in the environment rather than feeling like I have to vlog every fucking thing I'm doing. So the vlog, like, there's a lot of things missing just because there was so much going on. But I guess what I'm going to take away from it is that, like, I am so happy that over the last few months, I've, like, kind of, like, taken myself not necessarily out of the fitness industry, but kind of, like, taken myself out from, like, being, what's the word I'm looking for?
Just, like, a full-time fitness creator.
Yeah,
only.
exactly. Like, I love that you guys can, like, see me as, like, a full lifestyle person rather than just, like, I'm Sam Taylor. I'm with Alpha Lead. I work out. And if you see me in public, you call me Sam Taylor Fitness. Like, I don't want that, you know? So that's another reason why we changed our handles like a few months ago on Instagram to not have like the word fitness in it anymore. Just I feel like it like kind of stops the content. Like, it makes you very stuck in a niche of things.
Yeah, and for me, like, I started vlogging Alpha Land and then I didn't because being in those environments just like doesn't make me happy. And I didn't want to like fake a vlog or like do things for the sole point of content that I didn't like want to be doing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be like filming just for the sake of filming when like I don't like being in those environments, which is like fine. Like, I just realized like big fitness meetups, not for me, not my vibe, not surroundings I feel comfortable in, really. For no, like, Alphaland's a dope place, don't get me wrong. When it's like empty there,
yeah, it's so nice,
dope place. Like, I was telling my boyfriend though, I was like, you should come, like, it's a cool place. Like, it's like, besides like when it's like the giant meetup of when I tell you, if someone has a fitness profile, they were there.
Yeah.
It was madness. But like on a random Tuesday, I'd go, dope place.
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
Great, machines great,
I don't
music dope. Like,
the actual day of the event, I couldn't even work out. Like, I was like so mad. I was like, damn it, like, I really wanted to work out. I could not work out. But I feel like I made a lot of good friends from it, like, where it wasn't involving filming, which was nice. Because like I texted one of them and I was like, what the heck, like, we have no content together. But I was like, at the end of the day, that's kind of a good thing, because it's really important to make friends outside of content. And that's one thing over the last year we've neglected 100% was making friends outside of the content. Like, every time we were hanging out with people, it was like content. So it was good. A lot of there are like a good amount of people where I was like, you can come visit Austin, like, let's hang out, like, let's have a good time. So
yeah, it's just a very overwhelming industry of people.
Yeah, it is.
To say the least, it's very overwhelming. But that's basically that. I posted, I was like, the tea is Alphaland is not fun. And so everyone's like, wait, why? Like, spills, like, it's nothing to spill. Do you see how many people? It's overwhelming as shit.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not like drama or tea. Like, it's an overwhelmingly crowded cameras, people, like, it's not tea to spit, like. And then some people were like, no, yeah, that totally makes sense. I've never thought that seemed fun.
Yeah, no.
I was like, that's all I'm saying. It's just over, like, it's nothing to spill. It's just 1,000 people with cameras.
Yeah, no, it really was. I even like put my camera in my friend's bag and I was like, wait a second. Like, the whole entire day went by. I was like, shit, my camera was in his bag the entire time, which it was nice because a few of my guy friends have like big ass, like, nice cameras, and they took a lot of photos of me, which I never get that. Like, I never can get someone here in Austin to take photos for me. So I can't wait until they send those to me because those will be going on the gram. Like, I already know it. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
It's very exhausting, to say the least. Yeah. Monday, Tuesday, I'm so tired.
Yeah, it's just a lot. It's like some people, like I said, dope, like really dope people. Just like, I would rather just hang out with you like in a more low-key environment.
Yeah,
like, this is
low-key.
insane.
Yeah, I will definitely like go back not in like a big like event like that. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. We don't really want the catch up to be too long just because this is like one of our like biggest guests we've had in a while, and we really want to take the time to like get the most out of it. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We're going to talk so many amazing things. Just, having like a mom that was like also in the fitness spotlight doing Sports Illustrated, like so many cool things. So definitely stick around. It's going to be a good one. And with that, let's get into the interview. Hello, guys. And now we're back for the interview with Katie. And we're so excited to have her over Zoom with us and just talk all about her whole entire journey doing what she's doing, because we can go into so much. And we're so excited to go into a deep dive of all of it. For the people that don't know, even though I think a lot of them do you want to introduce yourself, what you do?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. First up, my name is Katie Austin, and I have my own workout app. I am a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. I'm a content creator, literally on every platform you can even think of. Like, I feel like these days, the content platform just keep growing. I'm like, how on earth are there I would say 11 platforms now? Like, Be Real just came out, and I'm like, what even is that? So yeah, I'm an all type of content creator, but mostly workouts and healthy recipes. And my entire brand is just kind of to help people feel their best selves, kind of like what you do as well. And yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
So all of that. And if people don't know, you come from, your mom was like the OG of the OGs.
Yes.
Your mom did fitness content before fitness content was
a thing. Really, I'd always say she was like the original influencer, because my mom had her own workout show for 26 years, which, if you know, 26 years is a long freaking time to do a workout show 5 days a week. So on her workout show too, she like always promoted, either an orange juice or like a different hotel or resort that she was filming at. So she was seriously the original influencer. And it's funny because people are always like, oh, did you follow in your mom's footsteps? And to be honest, I really didn't directly follow in her footsteps, because what she did back then doesn't exist today. You know what I mean? Like, she was like the queen on like ESPN and Lifetime and VHSs and DVDs. And there was no such thing as like YouTube or workout apps. And so we're actually very different. But at the same time, I was in my first workout video when I was like 7 years old. I saw her choreographing her videos at a very, very young age. And my first like anything was when I was like 6 weeks old. I traveled with her. I was like on the show with her. She like was showing the TV show that like how I was 6 weeks old and like how to shape up after baby. So she definitely instilled a lot of things about the fitness industry for me. She was not only my mom, but like a mentor. But at the same time, it's so vastly different today.
Yeah, I love that. What would you say in terms of you and your mom, like in terms of demographic currently? What is different between you two right now? Like, is she still have like more of like the older audience, and do you think she's kind of given up like and has brought on more of the younger audience as well?
I think her audience is full on, how to stay in shape after 50. She focuses a lot on like menopause and like how to, tone when you are 65 years old. She's never had any work done. She's 65. And so I think one of her things is like how to make sure you're still going about life in the most positive attitude, and how to work out when it's not like intimidating you, kind of like what I do, but for the older generation. But it really comes full circle when, daughters come to me and they message me and they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I just realized who your mom is. My mom worked out to your mom, and now I'm working out to you. And I think that's kind of the coolest part. Like, we really do hit two different demographics, but at the same time,
awesome.
Trying to like, connect that mother-daughter bond is really, really special. And it's really never, in my opinion, I haven't really seen it out there before, like mother-daughter bond, like you guys can work out together and, hang out at the same time. She's definitely more into like yoga, Pilates, and her walks and low impact. And I'm definitely more like the high impact HIIT workout girl. So we're definitely different in that way too. Yeah,
no, I love that. What would you say is like the reason being as to why you got into like health and wellness at like, was it at a young age, or did it kind of take a while with school or whatnot? But like, when would you say you actually really started it and took it serious?
So I was actually a college athlete. I played lacrosse at USC. And so if you know that you're a college athlete out there, it's your entire life. Like
Yeah.
I've literally played tennis and lacrosse since I was 5 years old. And so I couldn't really think about, a career in the fitness industry ever because, in college, it's actually your job being an athlete.
Yeah.
At the same time, I never worked out to, get abs, get like amazing booty or like burn calories. I was always working out to be like the strongest and fastest on the team and like compete in that way. And like compete in an athletic way rather than like thinking about the aesthetic of my body. And so I was really, really lucky to grow up that way and not having such a different mental state when working out. Like I have to burn calories. I have to do this amount of cardio. It was always more about building mental strength and for my actual health and competing as an athlete. So I would say after I moved on from lacrosse, I started doing at-home workout videos because, to be honest, I was an athlete my entire life and I never really worked out without a coach, like at 6 a.m. or even 5 a.m. telling me what to do. And without that, I was like really lost. And I went to USC as well. And to be fully honest, I was not comfortable in that gym. Those girls looked to the nines when they went to the gym in Los Angeles. And I was like, wait, y'all don't wear like your hair up and wear like baggy shorts. I'm very confused on this life. And so I was really intimidated by the gym, to be honest. And so I started doing at-home workouts. And then it like almost hit me that I was like, wait a second, this is what like my mom's done her entire life. I should probably like focus on this. And it's kind of cool that I'm like really intrigued on at-home workouts because it's exactly what my mom did. And that was really the first time it hit me. And so I thought, there's probably other girls out there that are struggling, ex-athletes with no coach, don't know what to do for a workout. They're not really training for anything anymore, but they just want to feel really good. And so I started, doing workouts on my own. I became a certified group fitness instructor and I started teaching workout classes. And then I kind of just transferred it online. I saw the impact I was doing in person and I was like 25 people a class. And then all of a sudden I would post a workout video online and hit like 100 people. And so it kind of just spiraled from there, knowing that I could hit more people online than in person.
I love that because I used to play lacrosse and field hockey in college, and I kind of in a sense can relate to you in terms of like transitioning into like not having anything and even the gym clothes. Like you would go into the gym, like I would do the baggy shirts, like the boy shorts, and just like try to get a workout in, whereas everyone else was looking like super cute with their matching sets and everything. I was like, where do I start? Where do I begin? It's such an overwhelming like transition, but I love that you really strive to like make that transition so much easier because I know it's really hard no matter like what your background is with like sports or whatnot to get into the actual like fitness in the gym.
I also think it's really interesting because I think a lot of people assume someone like you who grew up with a mom who's like an icon in the fitness industry to be like, well, how could she be uncomfortable or insecure in the gym? Like, how could she feel like she doesn't belong in the gym? Isn't that like how if she like grew up in that environment and how like relatable it is that like I feel every single person regardless feels uncomfortable to start working out and start going to the gym. So I just think that's so relatable and important for people to know that like someone like you whose family came from a background of that still feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I fully agree. And honestly, I think it's something that more people should talk about, feeling uncomfortable in the gym, because you see, us online and like we go in like it's no problem. I still sometimes get uncomfortable. Sometimes I double think about it because when I go to like workout classes in Los Angeles, I sometimes get recognized. And then afterwards, I'm like, damn, do they think that like maybe I was like, like out of breath during that workout class and like, not like, as fit as I seem. And so there's still like little things here and there that like really get to me about like going somewhere else for a workout. Sometimes I get super intimidated. Sometimes it's just not the day that I want to see anyone working out, or I don't want to like anyone looking at me working out, so that type of stuff does get in my head. And to be honest, that's why in-home workouts are literally my favorite thing in the world, because you can work out in your pajamas and look like absolute shit and no one cares. And you're doing it because you just feel better.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I really like that.
I mean, especially with everything that went on, this is kind of like a total tangent, but do you feel like COVID was like huge for you in that sense when everyone was at
Absolutely.
home?
And I think, I always veered more towards home workouts, to be honest. But I think for other people, it really helped them realize that you can work out at home, because we all kind of had to for those few months, especially those first few months. And the biggest thing that I always hear before COVID was, I can't get motivated at home. I need to go somewhere. And, it's really hard for me to just like, work out in my living room when like my couch is right there. And I think people kind of actually learned that they can work out at home. It's all a mindset. And if you just like set aside a little dedicated space and a schedule the exact time that you're going to work out, just like you would a workout class, or if you're going to the gym, you're actually going to save so much freaking time. Like driving to the gym takes 15 minutes on average. And so they're back 30 minutes, the dilly-dallying here and there, you are saving a lot of time. And so I think for the busy person, they're actually realizing that this is a very realistic lifestyle. You can work out for 30 minutes at home. You just need a few pieces of equipment. And also, it really helps when you're traveling too. If you are, always on the go and in a hotel room, you can learn how to work out in just 5 feet of space.
Yeah, I love that. Especially because like Taylor was just saying, like the whole COVID thing, like it really caused a lot of people to kind of learn to adapt to that environment. Even if you were working out beforehand in the gyms and you were being forced to put yourself into the environment of being home and having to work out. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, we got asked by a few, like when we were signing with Podcast One, actually, they were trying to talk about brands and they were like, what do you think? Do you think the gym is like out now? Do you think home workouts are all the way in? Do you think people are still doing home workouts? And I feel like now it's a total combination of both.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really work out at home. So often we don't really have the space for it in our current apartment. I mean, if we tried, but it's chaotic in here. But like we like going on walks in COVID, like huge, and like that stuck with us whole time. That takes no time, no money. Like you don't have to commute anywhere. Like go on a walk. We had I got a treadmill in my house in COVID, and like my parents still use it. So I think it's made such like people can do it all.
Yeah, it has really
so
impacted
crazy.
like the just like health and wellness industry. Like I think it's definitely bigger now, given like the home workouts and like the stuff that you can adapt to at home, which I love.
And it's all about versatility. I think that's what really helped. Some days, like you said, you can go to the gym, sometimes a workout class, and some days you can work out at home. And before, someone was just sticking to like the stagnant like gym every single day, and now they're switching it up. I do think there does crave a little bit of, that community aspect with at-home workouts. Like I think going to the gym or going to a workout class, is a really great way to socially get involved. I would say that. And so switching it up is absolute key, especially not to plateau.
Yeah, now the thing is too, online community is so huge. Like online community is such a big thing. Like we have a Facebook group for this podcast, and like we have girls meeting up in person through like their online community. So it's crazy now how you can still find the community for your home workouts or whatever you're doing, whether you're working out at home or working out in the gym. Like the online community is still there. So I just think that's crazy, like the way it's evolved to be such, like no matter where you are, what part of the world, you have community everywhere in this like health and wellness space, which is so amazing. And I'm so happy that now it's so accessible to so many people.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want to backtrack a quick minute, because I know when you mentioned, growing up living with your mom, it made it very easy for you to kind of really focus on being like your best self, like physically rather than like appearance wise. What do you think was the biggest thing growing up with that kind of helped you not focus so much on your actual appearance rather than the actual, performance in the gym?
Yeah, I'm really big on getting young girls involved in sports at a young age, because I think it teaches them discipline, how to work out, not too worried about, calories, but how food actually fuels your body and how you need it for energy. And if you are doing strength training workouts, like the difference of, the type of food you're eating, not to lose weight, but to actually gain strength and muscle. And if you're doing a cardio workout, what type of food you should be eating. And so I'm a huge advocate for young girls in sports, just because of, it teaches teamwork too. If you don't grow up with sisters, it really helps you, get friends involved as well. And so I think overall athletics for sure, and being on a team. But at the same time, something that I really appreciated that my mom did, because I would say if you're looking at me, you're like, well, the same time, like your mom's videos and your books are all about like losing weight and like looking good, and fully agree with that. I'm not saying anything against that, but at the same time, my mom was never the type of mom that was like, ever worried about really what I look like. She would always tell me I'm really smart, I'm really kind, I'm really important, I'm really, talented on the lacrosse field. And she would always focus on attributes about myself and not as much like how I look all the time. I mean, obviously she told me how beautiful I was, but I think as a mom that really helped me, focus on things that actually matter beyond looks. And when I got to LA, to be honest, thank God I grew up in that environment, because now in LA, it's like all based on that, especially at USC, and being surrounded by a lot of people who have a lot of work done. It can be very hard on me, but I'm really happy that I grew up with such a strong foundation of my family.
Yeah, I think that's so important, because I know a lot of people, when they grow up with parents who are very like fit and healthy, sometimes it takes a negative turn on their view of food because it becomes obsessive and too much. And it sounds like there wasn't much negative impact on you in terms of like being anywhere near like a quote unquote like obsessed with like body image or food or anything. It doesn't sound like that at all, which is amazing, and I feel like rare for a lot of people. And I think it's just because sometimes, like you said, the videos, obviously called how to lose weight, how to look your best, blah, blah, blah. It's just the times. And a lot of, I feel like, of that generation doesn't realize like the impact of that stuff. But that's amazing that it didn't have any like negative effect on you, considering that's just the way it was back then. Yeah. Like, my parents, like my mom would do like the crazy diets and like that kind of stuff. Like, just because that's like all I feel like that's all people like kind of knew. Like, it wasn't, because we didn't have all these people like us, like you and all these people on the internet sharing the correct ways to go about things. So it's really awesome that it didn't have that negative effect on you in any way, and it was just like a positive experience.
It was very positive. My mom really never dieted, to be honest. Like, I would come home and there would be like, our family healthy dinners were like big portions of lasagna, baked potato loaded with like cheese and sour cream. And like, that's how I grew up eating. Obviously it was healthy and it was all homemade, but at the same time, like, she was never a stickler, and she never is. Like, we're very all about balance. And I hate that word balance, because it's like, what does that actually mean? But like, balance is the only way I could describe it. Like enjoying life and making sure that you're not too worried about the carbs and your fat intake and all that stuff. Like, people always ask me, do you count your macros? I'm like, you think I have time to count my damn macros? Good for anyone who can, but like, I literally could never have time for that.
Yeah, right. No, we can definitely relate to that in a sense. We just stopped tracking macros because we went through like a whole bulk cut process, and now we're like intuitive eating and just eating whatever, of course, but it is very time consuming, and it has been very refreshing to kind of stop that, because obviously I don't think tracking macros is like a lifetime thing at all. It's very unrealistic to be doing it for the rest of your life. So I think intuitive eating is like been something, especially watching your content, like the food that you put out, like has been such an inspiration. You posted a banana muffin recipe yesterday, and I am 100% going to be making that. We're moving next week, but I will.
What I saw was the mashed potato thing that you just posed. I saw it like this morning, and I was like, that looks so good. I was like,
it's so good.
So I was like, I'm gonna bring that up on the podcast. That looks so good.
The whole thing that I love to do is like sneak in vegetables anywhere you can. And I know like the whole mashed potato, mashed cauliflower thing is not new, and everyone does it. But like, that's what I love to do, is like making your foods that you love, like a burger, like tacos, like mashed potatoes, just a little bit more healthy, and at the same time like sneak in more nutrients. It's not really necessarily about like less carbs, lower calories. It's all about nutrients, and like needing half potato, half cauliflower. You literally cannot taste the cauliflower at all, and you're just getting so many more nutrients.
Yeah, this is like a perfect segue, because you do like the healthy hacks like thing. You're always sharing like the recipes like that, and I feel like this is the perfect segue. Because I wanted to talk with you about like things for people like that don't know where to start, because everything you do is very simple, very attainable. It's nothing crazy. Like we already said, it's working out from home, it's eating mashed potatoes, it's eating burgers. And I think a lot of people don't understand where to start with that. It's something I've tried to explain to my family, or we try to explain to our audience, because some people will ask us like, what's your favorite cheat meal? And it's like, okay, we would say like tacos, but we make tacos at home all the time. Like, it's not like I would say a burger, but I always like have burgers in my freezer. Like, so it's weird for us, because we're like, we eat the foods we like all the time. Yeah. We just adapted them to our lifestyle. So what would you say are some of the things that you tell people when they don't know where to start in doing stuff like that and just making their daily habits just a little more healthy?
Yeah, I would say every little thing adds up. In terms of workouts, I always say, progression is key. Every single person started somewhere. And so 10-minute workouts can go such a long way. And then you can go to 15 minutes next week and 20 minutes. And so it's just all about not intimidating yourself. I think, no one's ever ready to start, but once you just do, you'll progress from there and you'll start to understand what works and what doesn't work. And it will take time to realize what doesn't work and what you like. I would say, after I moved on from lacrosse, especially, it took me so many workouts. Like I would say 9 months of workouts to figure out like what works for my body and how to work out to make me feel my best self. And so in terms of, food, I would say keeping it simple is really key. It all goes back to not being intimidated, being excited to get to do these things, like excited to cook healthy for yourself, excited to work out, for 15 minutes. And so starting simple with just 5 ingredient recipes is what I would absolutely suggest, starting with, just like brown rice, nothing too crazy. Maybe don't try out like crazy superfood recipes yet, and don't go to the grocery store buying all these ingredients that you never bought. Maybe just starting with like 1 new ingredient a week. Try putting in, I want to make a broccoli recipe and make it really simple. Start with like 5 ingredients of like brown rice, you get a good base in there, and then like, a healthy lean protein like grilled chicken, and then broccoli, zucchini. I try to do at least 2 vegetables per meal, to be honest, or per dinner, more so say, and then like a healthy fat like avocado. And so starting really easy and just basing them out on each ingredient is really key. To be honest, I would say the easiest way, in my opinion, to eat healthy are making bowls. Like I just said, like a bowl.
Love bowls.
We
bowls.
have 3 different shapes of bowls. 4 different shapes of bowls in our cabinet because we're big bowl people.
Because bowls can go any way. And the whole thing about bowls is just the sauce. And so honestly, you just make everything and then the sauce makes it. It's that and a baking sheet. I love baking sheet. You can even put like raw chicken, raw vegetables, bake it on a cookie sheet, come out, and that's your dinner. You toss it in a bowl, toss a little sauce on top, boom, healthy dinner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you big on meal prepping during the week, or do you like to not sit down, but like go into the kitchen and cook for every meal?
I love meal prep. I personally don't eat a lot of meal prep because, to be honest, like my entire job is cooking in the kitchen at home in that moment. But my boyfriend travels a lot for work and he goes to the office every single day. And so I honestly meal prep for him. So basically he's kind of like my guinea pig of like real life 9-to-5 jobs of like, you have to go in the office, got to go to work dinners, got to do all these things. And so I meal prep for him a lot. I don't have the not regular 9-to-5 job. And so I can't really like say like I love to meal prep because I'm so busy when my job is literally to cook. And so I love to meal prep for him. But at the same time, like this morning for breakfast, I meal prepped yesterday egg salad. And I had egg salad for breakfast because I have a little bit more of a hectic morning. So yes, I always plan ahead. If I'm especially traveling on an airplane and I don't want to eat the airplane snacks, I will meal prep. I think that's the biggest thing, especially this summer. If you are traveling a lot, just take the extra 20 minutes, or if you're cooking dinner the night before, cook a little extra. You could take it on your plane. I'm pretty sure I have TSA pre-check and I take it on the plane.
You can take pretty much anything on the plane as long as it's not a liquid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Because someone asked me how to get through on the plane. I'm like, I've never had an issue with that. But you take a few extra minutes to meal prep if you're traveling, and it goes the longest way.
Yeah. Something we do when we travel is, if it's a short trip, like road trip, sometimes we'll bring like actual food meal prep if it's just like a little bit away. But when we like fly or like wherever we're going, something we always do is bring breakfast stuff. We'll bring like instant oatmeal packs and like a little container of nut butter, and then like you can even get fruit when you're there, like from like Starbucks or like a 7-Eleven. They have like bananas, like whatever it is. So like we always have breakfast. Like we always have, like, your hotel probably has a microwave. You can just microwave instant oatmeal, get a banana from like a gas station, and boom, you have breakfast. That's what we do when we travel all the time, is like have oatmeal on hand.
It's not only for like the staying on track, but it's also like the budget of it too.
Yes,
because eating out can definitely add up and get very expensive.
So true.
Yeah, that's like our travel thing, is like the oatmeal packets. Always. Okay, so I want to like 180 it and talk about Sports Illustrated.
Let's do it.
I'm so into that. So before I got into fitness, I was very into modeling. I wanted to model so bad. Unfortunately, it led me down a very bad path with food. I was the skinniest I've ever been in my entire life. But I really wanted to get signed to an agency. I really wanted to model. Like, I wanted to do all these things. And then I found fitness, and that kind of went away. And I think it's really cool to see with Sports Illustrated and people like you, like, being swimsuit models in this space, yet not making young girls like me when I was in high school stop eating. Yeah, basically. Because that's what I did, watching, like, Victoria's Secret fashion shows and all that. So I just find it really inspiring. So if you want to talk about how you got into doing that in the first place, because I don't even know how that process works. So I'd love to hear.
Yeah. So I fully agree with that. Just first off, I think the huge reason I really always wanted to be a part of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit was because they highlighted the athletes a part of it. And so growing up, I would always just go straight to the athletes and being like, oh, damn, she's so strong. Dang, look how good she looks, instead of rather like the skinniness of, models in general. And to be honest, right away when I got the call that I got Sports Illustrated, I was thinking to myself, oh man, maybe I should work out a little harder. Or even right now, as I'm getting ready for Miami Swim Week, to walk down the aisle, like runway. I sound like I was about to get married. Walk down the runway. Walk down the runway. I'm like, damn, I have 3 weeks. Should I eat a little healthier? Should I not eat so much? And like, whatever. And at the same time, the reason I love SI so much is because their entire motto is get booked, eat a burger. They want you to come as you are. They don't want you to ever lose a pound. Of course, they want you to feel your best self, but at the same time, they embrace every single body type, and they want to show the real woman. And so I've never really felt the pressure, to be honest, like any other regular modeling job where it's like lose weight. I've never, and I don't think any other person on SI like ever feels like pressure to like lose weight ever. Because it's just not like that. It's really just an environment that's wants you to feel your best self mentally and come as you are. So I first actually got started with Sports Illustrated by auditioning for Swim Search in 2017. So it took a little while, but basically Swim Search is where they open it up to every single one person without an agency. I don't have a modeling agent. I'm not necessarily a traditional model. So basically they open it up digitally online where you can submit a video on Instagram. First started like that. I first did that 2017. And then I also submitted in 2020. And then I heard back, I think like early 2021, that I actually got top 15 out of like 22,000 girls, which was crazy to me. And like to even get that far is just amazing. And I was so grateful. And the whole Swim Search process was about 1.5 years and like consisted of like different little times throughout the entire 1.5 years. So it was a long process with like 15 girls. We were all in the magazine. And then I actually ended up winning with my best friend, Kristen Harper, which was like the coolest part ever, is when you win with someone that, you have absolutely no competition with, your best friends, and you get to do everything together. So that was my favorite part about it. And we really grew close through Sports Illustrated because we both like have the exact same values and the exact same thoughts on everything. And so I shot in Montenegro about a couple weeks after I found out I won, was in the issue this year. And honestly, it's still surreal to me because I just remember like growing up being like, one day I want to be in Sports Illustrated. And like, you just really think about it as a dream and kind of like unattainable for some reason. And then when you're actually in it, you're like, wait, what? How did this happen? How did I get here? Like, what is happening? And I just think back to like my 19-year-old self. And I'm like, dude, if you only knew what was about to happen in your life, that is so crazy.
Yeah, that is insane. I like honestly got the chills from you talking about that because like, I think it's very important too. Like, I love that Swim Illustrated, like the way they kind of brand themselves is so important because I'm personally not very into like the whole modeling thing. Like I never really like got into it, like looked at it that much or watched like, Victoria's Secret, like runway or anything. But I think it's very important that they represent themselves the way they do. It's huge.
Totally.
Yeah, and that's so, I didn't realize that the process was just, I've seen girls post about it on Instagram, like when I guess it's like, I don't know if there's like certain times they do it or whatever, like SI swim shirts, like applying. And I was like, I just never understood. I was like, so anyone can get this, literally anyone. I was like, so I could just post this on Instagram. Like, I was like, I'm very confused. But that's cool how the process works and like how many people it is. I did not know.
Yeah, and I think that's the coolest part about it. That's why I really wanted to be a part of it, and now I can like kind of spread that message that really anyone can do it. And thinking back to the time of like I filmed my audition tape, and I've already tried out, and I had like I had a following already, and I was it's really nerve-wracking because you're just so nervous about what everyone thinks of you. Like if you don't get it, you're like, oh man, that's like so embarrassing. But I didn't get it the first few times, and I still kept trying. And thinking back, if I didn't try out or audition and didn't press send on that audition tape, I literally would not be here today and talking about it. And so it's such a crazy, surreal moment for me to like see myself in the magazine all off just like posting an audition tape and like going for it.
Yeah, and I also love how you never gave up either, like all the years of like trying and you just kept going for it. Like what would be your advice for somebody that like either one has not done it and they want to like apply, or two, they did not make it like next round or whatever the process is, and they are too scared to do it again because they feel like they're going to get rejected again?
Yeah, I have. I said this in my audition tape when I got it, because I tried out a few times. And so I said it in my audition tape. It's so cliche, but if you really think about it, it's like the truest statement ever. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And we've heard it a million times, but how freaking true is that? No matter what you're doing in life, you miss the shot if you don't take it. And so just really apply that to whatever you're thinking about doing. Nothing else matters. And if you want something really bad, you can go get after it, no matter who you are.
I love that.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. So what does it look like for you doing Sports Illustrated now? So you said you're walking in Miami Swim Week, which is so crazy. I'm from Miami and I've never been to Swim Week, and I've always wanted to go. But I've never been. So you do that. Like, what does it look like for you being a Sports Illustrated? Are you like a rookie? Is that the word? Sports Illustrated?
I'm a rookie. Yeah. It's wild because like I would say last year I wasn't a rookie yet, right? And it was still part of the competition, and you could feel that it was a competition. And for me personally, this year just really changed everything. Like I was on the other side last year, like looking up to these girls and listening to these girls. And then all of a sudden within a year it can switch. And then these girls are looking up to you. And so I would just say, keep in mind, you can be anywhere in a year. You can be anywhere in 6 months. That's the craziest part to me, is your life can change so fast. No matter if once you put yourself out there, be prepared for it to like flip a switch. And I would just say it's just still a surreal experience. And I feel like I'm a part of the family. And, as I was an athlete and so were you guys, it's so amazing to feel part of a team again. And I really miss that team factor. And so I finally get to feel like I have like these, teammates that are really looking out for me in a non-competitive way anymore.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know. I mean, I've never heard anything bad about Sports Illustrated, but I didn't know exactly how good of a
I would say
and a brand to be a part of.
Something that people don't understand about Sports Illustrated swimsuit is how fun everyone is. Like
it looks it.
I personally had like this like fear of like when I first got it and like when I was first surrounded by all like the models in it, it was like, oh man, maybe like, I don't know if anyone eats. Does anyone drink alcohol? Like, is anyone fun? Does anyone have a personality? Like, you know what I mean? Like, have this like horrible stereotype of like models. And when I got there, everyone eats every meal, of course. Everyone parties. Everyone has fun. Everyone has an amazing personality. And it's just like such a different thing that I think people would expect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I watched that last trip that you went on. Where exactly was it for Sports Illustrated?
It was in Miami.
It was? Okay, yeah. Looking at all of those, because I follow quite a few of you guys, and I was like, this looks like so much fun. I want to be there right now. But I just love how, like
is as fun as you make it seem. And I'm like, it's actually funner. Like, that's just the surface level. You should see, like, behind the scenes.
Oh, I can imagine. That's awesome.
That's awesome. So is there anything else that like you do? So you do like the shows, you do like the shoots for the magazine. Is there anything else it entails in far as like a work aspect, or is
I would say what they're really trying to do also they're trying to grow beyond just the faces in the magazine. And so with that, partner with different brands that really, unite with like women's rights, which I absolutely love. And at the same time, like that comes me into play because both our brands can actually work together on that level. I've done like panels with them as well, where basically we speak on like either empowerment or how to build a brand as a female, and how to stay healthy and about mental health. And so there's different aspects for sure. And there's hopefully more coming as well.
That is so awesome.
Yeah,
I learned so much about that. I had no idea.
What would you say in terms of like work outside of Sports Illustrated? Like obviously I know you have the Snapchat, but what else what is it like for a day for you in terms of work?
Yeah, totally. So I just actually recently pivoted, I would say. And so basically for the last like year and a half, I've had a podcast as well. And to be honest, mine was all in person. I never did anything virtually. And so I would have to go into my podcast studio about 2 days a week, and I would have to schedule with my studio availability, my team who films it, myself, and my guest. And to be honest, I reached a point very recently where that was like way too much for me. I still really want to do it, but I want to find a way that like it makes sure like I can still work and be productive on my own, and not be too overwhelmed and burnt out. And to be honest, that just like wasn't in the cards this summer. I have like 17 weddings. And so every single day really is different. And right now, I'm fully filling my time in ways that will help me grow. Meaning instead of, I don't know how to give an example, but like instead of focusing on things that like are money makers right away, I want to focus on things that are like going to help my brand grow. And I think that's really taken me a while to like realize that. And so right now, every single day, like first up, I just wake up, I drink my coffee, I work out, and then I get going on like either admin emails. Like I have my app in my my site where I do like customer service emails, and it's like a subscription. So basically like, a lot of thousands of people are on it and I have to tend to them. And then editing, I do so much editing. It's out of control. And so I think people don't realize like the back end work of what it takes to create content for every single platform, including your own app, a lot of editing. And then filming of my Snapchat show, which I absolutely love to do. It's like a cooking show with like healthy hacks. That's what it's called. And then right now I'm focusing on a lot of YouTube videos too. And to be honest, I'm finally at a point, it has taken me 8 years being a content creator to feel like I'm okay with where I am and I don't need to rush. And I can focus on more of my mental health, because I think being a content creator for so long, you can get really burnt out. It's like, how many freaking squats can you do? How many freaking recipes can you do? And so just taking it slow and taking it one day at a time, like making sure that I'm in the right headspace to do what I'm doing and stay passionate about it. Something about being a creator is you have to have passion, and passion can show whatever you're doing. And I don't need to get a piece of content out every single day. So taking care of my mental health right now is absolutely priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we're definitely in the point of feeling rushed and stressed of the workload and the content. So I don't know if it's hopeful or like scary that it took 8 years.
No.
Because I'm like, 8 years. We can do it. Like, I got it. But in a way, it's hopeful. Because
the reason that like sometimes as a content creator, it can really get to you is like you see other people blowing up so fast, right? So some of these TikTokers, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for so long. And this girl 2 weeks ago created this video. She has more followers than me. And so it can really get to you because you always want more. But at the same time, you cannot compare yourself to anyone else. And you have to make sure you are like staying in your own place because you are exactly where you need to be. And also at that note, like speaking of comparing that you shouldn't do, but at the same time, like there's a lot of other people that would love to like switch positions with you that are like, at like 10,000 followers, would love to get to 300,000 followers. And so you really have to put it in perspective and just be grateful for what you have, because one follower is better than, nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
I totally agree with that. And I think it's crazy because one thing that you just said was like what are the quotes you just said? Basically just like finding the value in your content and like actually being fulfilled with what you're putting out. And I think that's the biggest thing. Before we actually hopped on with you, we did like a little bit of a weekend recap, and we announced that we're moving next Friday, and we're getting out of this space because this space has very much like kind of been holding us back with the creative ability. And so that's a reason why we're moving, because I think your living environment is very important, or your work environment as well, because we work from home. But
totally.
Yeah, we've been trying to put a lot of our effort into things that are fulfilling to us, like, and actually bringing like a lot of joy. Like right now, you can't see the rest. We're like in our dining room of our apartment. So like we don't have a dining room, we have a studio.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have like an extra bedroom for our studio, and like so it's like we're putting so much effort into like the fulfillment of things, and like like it's gonna like maybe cost a bit of money to like furnish a studio, like at first we did this sitting on like our couch with like microphones, and then it's like it's gonna like cost a little bit of money, or it's gonna take a hell of a lot of time to like order the stuff, set it up, learn how to use the mics, like learn how to use a mic stand, like try like. But it's putting that effort into like the long term, like you said.
For sure. And and to go off that too, it's like you have to see you guys as like a startup company, right? And sometimes I get like upset when I'm like, oh my gosh, I just spent like $500 on groceries for the week because I have so many recipes to cook. Like that is so much money. I can't even fathom it. I cannot believe I'm buying all these things. But like at the same time, switch the perspective. You're a startup company. Some startup companies put in like $10 million, right? Your company, you're a brand. Even though you're people, you're a brand. And so I think that's really, really important to remember, that you have to put in money to, be successful.
Of course. Right. Very important to remember.
So back to your day, like the day in your life and what you've been doing. Are there any, like, do you have like non-negotiable, like morning, night routine type things?
Absolutely. I would say
into them.
My non-negotiable that I didn't do this morning is going for like a 10 to 15 minute walk. I absolutely love walking in the mornings. It just like really resets my mental health and helps me like get, oxygen, like fresh air, and moving my body, blood circulation. It kind of just like helps me wake up. So I love going on a walk in the morning, and I'm really working on not really checking my phone as much in the morning at night. It's really hard, but I'm also most creative at those times. So I have to like work on how to be creative at other times, I would say. And then another non-negotiable that I have been really focusing on, we kind of touched on it earlier, being a content creator, it's really hard to turn off, I would say, because a lot of people have like 9 to 5s, and I go on vacations with my best friends. And when I go on a vacation with my best friend, they're fully unplugged. For me, I'm like looking at a beach. I'm like, well, that would be a really good place to film so-and-so. And my brain just works as a creator. And so to be able to unplug is really, really important, and kind of set that boundary of like when you're working and when you're not working. And so my non-negotiable right now is like, stop working after 7 p.m. You're done. You're not allowed to edit. It's over. You have to like clear out your mind. And so I would say that's what I'm working on, and my non-negotiable, I guess.
I love how it's very simple, because I know a lot of creators, maybe if they do it or don't actually do it, they're like, my non-negotiables are all of these like superfoods in the morning, and a 20-minute journal, and read half a book, and like all of this like craziness. So I love that you're like a 10-minute walk and then like get off my phone.
Yeah.
Like nothing also crazy.
I just don't have, I'm kind of like, I know that I have a different type of job, but like, just like anyone else listening, I don't have 30 minutes to spare in the morning. Like sometimes I'm waking up and I'm like, shoot, out the door. Let's go. So my mornings can definitely be very hectic as well. And so finding little things, like even just for like 2 minutes that like make you happy, to me, a non-negotiable, honestly, is having a piece of toast in the morning. I had my piece of toast this morning too, with my egg salad. And so just something like that like brings you joy, just a little bit of gratitude in the morning.
Yeah. My non-negotiable is definitely oatmeal in the morning. I gotta have that. But
and celery, you've been doing celery juice too.
Yes, I have been doing celery juice. But we never really talked about this, and I kind of wanted to ask. I've been noticing with your eating, you've been eating less like meat. How would you explain your current diet, or like what you are kind of working towards with your way of eating?
Yeah, I would say I incorporated Meatless Mondays a few months ago, and I'm so happy that I've done it. My best friends are actually vegan, and so they kind of inspired me to like mandatory. They never even said like you should try it. It was just more just like very natural of like they don't eat meat, and I've been around them a lot, and so I kind of just like adopted like tofu and like lentils more often. And to be honest, I really found myself cooking so many recipes with meat, and I would have chicken for lunch and then like ground turkey for dinner. And I was like, I just feel like my body doesn't need this much meat. And it really is just a personal decision. It has
Of course.
really nothing to do with anything else. And people always ask me why. And it's personal. And it's what I feel like that I want to do. And so I'm doing it. And that's what I think everyone should do with their diet, is making sure that you love what you're eating, and you're making sure you're getting good nutrients, and B, it works for you. And that's what works for me. I'm trying right now to eat less meat just because I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm vegan. So I mean, I love that. It's I don't like talk about it that much on my platform, surprisingly. I want to start talking about it more. Like, some people follow me and don't even know that I'm vegan, which I think proves how easy not having meat in a meal really is. Like, I can post a whole full day of eating and someone might be like, wait, you're vegan? Like, I didn't even know. Like, and I'm like, right, because it's not that weird to not eat a bunch of meat at every single meal. It's not that strange, and it doesn't stand out to a lot of people. I've known people for months before they realize that I'm vegan, and she doesn't eat red meat. So we're not a big meat like household. So that's just come like very naturally to us. But again, for me, it's a very personal decision too. Like, it's been a long journey.
Wait, so I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
I have been eating less meat and been feeling so much hungrier. Do you have any advice on how to fit more protein in your diet? I'm fully aware of like plant-based protein, nut butters, beans, lentils, tofu. But like, is there any other way that I can feel more full, or is it something that I need to get used to?
I would say it's definitely the protein aspect, but let me tell you right now, I'm going to plug you. The like best protein is from Whole Foods. I find their vegan protein selection is amazing. Like, I definitely look into it and check it out. They have so many great new brands. Like, I think over the last like year or two, they've come out with so many different types of like vegan protein sources.
Yeah, for sure. And also for me, it was realizing, because I went through a struggle with it. I was vegetarian, and then I've been vegan for about 2 years. So I haven't eaten meat in like over 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I used to feel that way when I was first kind of eating. I was trying to eat more healthy, but realistically I wasn't eating enough. And I realized it's the portions of the food. Like, to get enough protein, normally, let's say if you're eating meat, it's like a very small piece of chicken has enough protein. So you might be mimicking the physical, like eyeball looking amount of protein. But realistically, the portion sizes of the food is a lot bigger. Like, when I eat tofu, I eat half the block. I don't eat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I had like a sixth of the block.
Yeah. So I used to do that as well. Like, one block of tofu would last me like the whole week. There's also different brands of tofu. So at Whole Foods, again, they always have it. Some grocery stores also have it, but it's hit or miss. At Whole Foods, I believe they have the Wildwood one. It's kind of like, it looks almost like vacuum sealed in there. Like, it's not a plastic container. It's totally tight wrapped in plastic. It's like double to maybe triple the protein than regular tofu. It's super firm. So yeah, get that one.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, that's the most protein brand of tofu that like there is.
I have so much fun going to Whole Foods and looking at their vegan selection of protein. It's literally crazy.
It's crazy.
They have so many different like types, like chorizo, like
hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Like the hot dogs have been a huge hit. We love the hot dogs around here, but yeah, definitely like outsource and find other brands, because you can find them.
But for me, like I said, it's definitely getting used to the volume of the food, because like, just from like the eyeball amount of protein, it's very, very different. And like, I eat a lot now, and I realized that was a big problem, and why I was always hungry when I was trying to eat more plant-based. It's because I just simply wasn't eating enough, because I thought I was like looking at the same amount of food, but it wasn't. And it was like lower calorie and whatnot. I also I just eat a freaking lot. I eat a lot. I've always eaten a lot. And like I've always told people, like, if you're hungry, like tracking food helps when you're vegan. Like I know tracking is such like a pain and it takes a lot of time, but I did have to track for a little bit when I went vegan because I just wasn't sure the amounts that I was eating. So I was like, okay, I need to track for a little bit to make sure that I'm eating enough because I had no idea, and that helped me a lot too.
Yeah, I would say honestly, those days that I'm meatless, I should definitely at least understand a little bit, a gauge on how much protein that I'm intaking, because I don't think I am eating enough protein on those days.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. There's really like fun recipes with it too. Like you can make like chicken salad or like tuna salad out of chickpeas. Really good.
I made that really before. Good. I have.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like something that you like probably would have made. Mm-hmm. There's like really cool things that you could make and stuff, but definitely just going to that meatless section of Whole Foods and getting like one of everything. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. So that's like my biggest like thing, but it's also always come so naturally to me that it's really hard for me to give people advice because it's just how I've naturally eaten since I was like a kid. I'd never liked meat. So to me, I'm like, it's normal.
And that just goes back to like full circle, like what works for you might not work for anyone else. And like everyone should find like their own diet per se, you know, and their own path of lifestyle, of way of eating.
Yeah. Right. And I've always said too, like with being vegan, technically like real vegans get mad at me because I eat honey and I eat gelatin, which aren't vegan. But like if I take those things out of my life, I feel way too restricted. Like that's way too restrictive for me. So I keep honey and gelatin in my life. So I always tell people like there's no reason to pick a label of a diet. Like I get DMs being like, I want to be vegan so bad, but like I literally love like chicken nuggets too much. And I'm like, so keep chicken nuggets in your diet.
Right.
And like cut the rest. Like it doesn't, you don't have to like pick you don't have to like label yourself as vegan one day to the next.
I fully agree with that. That's exactly how I feel right now in this current moment.
Yeah, exactly. Like one day a week, like meatless, that's awesome for like the environment, for like that's super dope. Like love that. And I think a lot of people, because people that don't eat meat are insane sometimes, think that they're all insane, which is why for a while I didn't talk about it, because people are like, oh my God, you're crazy. Like blah, blah, blah. Or they're like, impossible meat is so unhealthy. I'm like, I didn't say it was healthy. I just said I wanted a burger. Like I never said it was healthy. Like I just want to eat it. So it's like a hard thing to juggle online.
Absolutely. I can only imagine, because I've just started doing Meatless Mondays, and the stuff that I get online is already out of control.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, I don't know what it is. Like I have a lot of influencer friends and they don't get as much hate as I get. I get so much hate online, you guys. It is out of control. It is getting worse and worse every single day. I get at least 3 hate comments a day.
What about what?
Like DMs, like not comments, like DMs. Like people go out of their way. I don't know. It's crazy. It's wild.
I really hope that's not the case for you. Maybe I'm hoping you're in your head a little bit, because I feel the same way sometimes when I'm like, oh my goodness, like the world is coming down on me. Everyone's being so mean to me. But realistically, maybe it was just like 1 or 2 really mean comments. And then I just think it's like everything.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that sometimes like it hurts. Like if I give them any power, then I'm actually in turn hurting the people that actually say nice things to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not focusing on that, because for every person saying a nice thing to you, there's also another 50 people saying something nice to you, because not every single person's like write a paragraph on how much they love you. Yeah. They follow you because they love you. And so not focusing on that is really, really important.
Very important. I did not know you get hate DMs. That's just like so crazy to me, because like, and I feel like normal people's eyes and not like internet trolls, I'm like, what is there to hate on someone like making like food in their kitchen? Like why does that anger you?
No, it's like it's crazy, guys.
Like in what world does that make you so angry?
Yeah. I also post a lot of my political beliefs as well, because I'm a huge advocate for things that I believe in. And, you know, with everything going on in the last week, I lost 3,000 followers. And I'm like, at the same time, I don't want those people following me. If you like, I don't care for you guys to follow me. I'm very, very into women's rights. And so,
a million.
That's a different story though.
Yeah. No, yeah, we definitely could go so much into that. But I'm sure a lot of people have heard a lot, and I know some people need another escape of content that's just lighthearted.
Fully agree.
Yeah. But that is wild. Oh my God, that like makes me sick.
I know. I feel like we got a lot though out of this episode, and I really loved it. Like I feel like I want to like listen back on it. I don't usually listen back on our episodes, but I feel like this one I could definitely do that.
No, I loved it so much. You're such a positive energy.
Thank you guys. Well, thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course. You were really easy to talk to. I loved it. So
yeah, you bring like a really good energy. And I can imagine if we were in person, there'd be like more energy. But yeah, I loved it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being on.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.